amanecer sin tierra. Oh no. Como quisiera poder vivir sin ti. Oh no. Pero no puedo. Siento que muero. Me estoy ahogando sin tu amor. Como quisiera poder vivir sin aire. Como quisiera calmar mi aflicción. Como quisiera poder vivir sin agua. Me encantaría robar tu corazón. Como quisiera lanzarte al olvido. Como quisiera guardarte en un cajón. Como quisiera borrarte de un soplido. Me encantaría matar esta canción.
We begin today with these words from Greg Ward. If we are lucky, we will all get a chance during our life to know someone who becomes for us an exemplar of living. And if we are really lucky, we will recognize how they ended up passing on some of their goodness to us, if we are lucky. But one thing is certain: no one, not one of us, entering this world can escape the cost of living. The price we pay is this: to live in this world, we must accept that someday we will have to die. To love what is alive, we must accept having to lose what we've made precious through our care. To be fully and fiercely human, we must accept having to be breakable and sometimes broken. When we stop to notice how their life gave us a path and a little light to see by, it helps encourage us to help carry that light forward. Though each of us carries forth in this world a small flame, we know that the ability of that light to brighten the world depends upon the many others who learn to walk with it in their hearts. We are gathered today to mark, to mourn, and to celebrate one of those bright lights in the hearts of those here. Thomas F. Fletcher. We take this time as family and friends to remember and appreciate his full, joyful life, sharing together moments that remind us of Tom's loving spirit. We also mourn his death, the loss of someone who has been dear in our lives, and to soothe one another through that loss. In the words of writer Corliss Lamont, the final parting signified by death is bound to bring shock and sorrow whenever the ties of love and friendship are involved. Those who feel deeply will grieve deeply. No philosophy or religions ever taught can prevent this wholly natural reaction of the human heart. So today, while we may hold that sorrow that Tom's death brings, I also want to add that we want to uplift the joy that was part of who Tom was and has been, and the joy he brought into lives. As we hold one another at this point of the journey, and we hold each other with the care and compassion he so regularly showed to those he met. I will tell you in advance, it has been a joy to work with you, Leslie, on this service. It has been a joy to see the music that you chose. It was important to Leslie and Tom. And just a little spoiler alert, Leslie will welcome you to some movement at the end of our time together today, because she also wanted to make sure to celebrate Tom.
This afternoon, we light our chalice, symbol of Unitarian Universalism, in affirmation of our faith's teaching of the sacredness of human life. We affirm that life is sacred, sacred in its being born, sacred in its living, and yes, sacred in its ending as well. Flame of memory, flame of love, remind us of Tom's life, remind us of Tom's love, and remind us especially of the love that is ever a part of our life.
Now the parking lot is empty. Everyone's gone someplace. I'll pick you up and in the trunk I've packed a cooler and a 2-day suitcase. 'Cause there's a place we like to drive way out in the country. 5 miles out of the city limit, we're singing and your hands upon my knee. So we're okay, we're fine. Baby, I'm here to stop your crying. Chase all the ghosts from your head. I'm stronger than the monster beneath your bed. Smarter than the tricks played on your heart. We'll look at them together, then we'll take them apart. Adding up the total of all of that's true. Multiply life by the power of 2. Know the things that I am afraid of, I'm not afraid to tell. And if we'd ever leave a legacy, it's that we loved each other well. 'Cause I've seen the shadows of so many people trying on the treasures of youth, but a road that fancy and fast ends in a fatal crash. And I'm glad we got off to tell you the truth. 'Cause we're okay, we're fine. Baby, I'm here to stop your crying. Chase all the ghosts from your head. I'm stronger than the monster beneath your bed. Smarter than the tricks played on your heart. Look at them together, then we'll take them apart. Adding up the total of a love that's true. Multiply life by the power of 2. worse for worse. Don't you ever forget it. And now the steel bars between me and a promise suddenly bend with ease. The closer I'm bound in love to you, the closer I am to free. So we're okay, we're fine. Baby, I'm here to stop your crying. Chase all the ghosts from your head. It's stronger than the monster beneath your bed. Smarter than the tricks played on your heart. Look at them together, then we'll take them apart. Adding up the total of a love that's true. Multiply life by the power of two.
These words about Tom's life were composed by his family, and it's my privilege to read them today to you. Thomas Frederick Fletcher was born in Seattle, Washington, to Dr. J. Eugene and Violet Fletcher. He lived a varied life full of curiosity, study, physical activity, travel, and service to others. Spent most of his childhood in Cheney, Washington, and received his bachelor's degree in anthropology from Eastern Washington University. After working as a cartographer in Seattle, he completed graduate work in archaeology at the State University of New York at Buffalo, and conducted field work towards a doctorate in Germany. A pivotal point in Tom's life came when he was recruited by a professor to move to Zuni, New Mexico, to direct an archaeological dig for the Zuni tribe. There, he married Heidi Lipmeyer, another anthropologist. He enjoyed a great affinity for the people of New Mexico, which he held on to for the rest of his life. His favorite artist became Georgia O'Keeffe. But when tribal funding ended, he and his wife moved to Albuquerque, where they did archaeological survey work for a development company. Seeking new interest and employment opportunities, they moved to Raleigh, where he earned his master's degree in teaching from UNC Chapel Hill. And after a year of teaching high school, Tom found a job which matched his talents more fully as the education specialist on a team for the All Kinds of Minds and Schools Attuned programs, which helped students nationwide who encountered learning difficulties. After divorcing, Tom bought a home in Durham, and later, when the economic crisis of 2008 closed his workplace, he started his own business, coaching and tutoring special needs students. During that time, he was a learning specialist at several private schools and taught in the Roots to Success program to promote community-based environmental and employment opportunities. Later, he worked in the special education department of area public high schools. Tom attended this congregation, the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, which is where he met his partner, Leslie Zeldin. Tom was active here in social justice service and in gardening projects. After his illness, the fellowship members and Leslie's friends generously provided Tom with meals and rides when needed during care that was scheduled through a care calendar. Tom's interests included participation in sports such as ultimate frisbee, soccer, hiking, and biking. He coached girls' soccer and was a big UNC fan. He hosted 2 foreign exchange students and worked with youth on urban gardening. He enjoyed games and used them as learning tools for his students. Tom's care for the environment and his passion for environmental justice led him to the United Nations Climate Conference, COP22, in Morocco, as well as to local recycling and preservation efforts. His belief in grassroots democracy spurred him to help organize the Durham participatory budgeting process. In 2023, Tom was diagnosed with a terminal glioblastoma brain tumor. He received medical treatment at the Duke University Tisch Brain Tumor Center and lived out the rest of his life at Azalea Estates in Chapel Hill. We have a number of members from the Azalea community who are with us today. Tom died peacefully on June 27th, 2025. All through his life, and especially towards the end of his life, he lived with courage, kindness, humility, and grace.
Hi. Thank you all so much for coming. I'm very touched. And I'm going to try not to cry. Do we have any tissues? Yeah. Thank you. A couple here.
I will bail you out.
Tom's going to keep me supplied with tissues. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. So before I start my little eulogy, I just want to thank Reverend Tom and Reverend Jim for being here today and conducting the service. It's a pleasure to work with them. And I also want to thank all of you for coming. I'm very touched by the turnout. We couldn't have done this without you all over the last 2 years. And I'm so thankful to my family, my 2 sons, Ruben and Josue, my future daughter-in-law, Sarah, my sister, Adria, and my brother-in-law, Peter, who are here, and my sister, Pam, who couldn't be here, and everybody who's online, from Honduras, from Barcelona, from Teaneck, New Jersey. I don't know where else, but thank you, everybody. So, Thomas Frederick Fletcher. I never thought I'd be giving a eulogy for Tom, but you never know what life has planned for you. Tom and I met here at ERUF in 2014. I would watch him from a distance during services. To be honest, it was his hairy arms that attracted me. I yearned to caress them, which I finally got to do. He wasn't an easy conquest, this man. I would talk him up at coffee hour as he tabled for Earth Justice. He would chat with me briefly, but showed no interest in pursuing anything further. Then, just when I figured it was a lost cause, one Sunday, as I was leaving coffee hour, out of the blue, Tom stepped in front of me and asked me out. That was the beginning. We had 10 wonderful years together. We went to concerts, became groupies at the Kraken on Whitecross on Wednesdays, listening to Jonathan Byrd and the Pickup Cowboys. We traveled to the beach, to the mountains, to Cozumel, where his sister and brother-in-law were living, went to France, Switzerland, and Italy, and we had plans to go for an extended period to Spain in 2023 after he retired. But then came his diagnosis in February of 2023, which changed our lives forever. I told him at that time I would be with him until the end. He lived 28 months after his diagnosis. I was there when he took his last breath, my hand on his chest, feeling his last gasp for air. His wonderful caregiver, Emmanuel, was there too, and together we wept as Tom ceased breathing. It was a long journey, one which no one wishes to be on, but we did it together. And although it broke my heart over and over, I was so grateful for the many blessings we encountered along the way. The kind, caring, loving people we met at Duke Cancer Center, the amazing volunteers from ERUF, from my neighborhood, and my friends, and those who brought flowers, food, gave rides, helped Tom sell his house and move to Azalea Estates in Chapel Hill. I am forever grateful for what you gave to Tom and his family and to me. At one point, Tom said to me after moving to Azalea, I never would have chosen to get a brain tumor, but if I hadn't, I never would have met all these wonderful people here at Azalea. That was Tom through and through, kind, thoughtful, caring, sensitive, always looking at the bright side. I'm not sure how to move on now without Tom. I'm sure life will show me the way and guide me to find happiness once again. In the meantime, I honor this wonderful man whose life I got to be a part of briefly. May he rest in peace and be happy. I love you, Tom. And I also want to thank his family, who I think are tuning in from Seattle for everything they've done during Tom's illness. Thank you all. I didn't even need the tissues.
I'm trying to tell you something about my life. Maybe give me insight between black and white. And the best thing you ever done for me is to help me take my life less seriously. It's only life after all. Yeah. Well, darkness has a hunger that's insatiable. And lightness has a call that's hard to hear. And I wrap my fear around me like a blanket. I sail my ship of safety till I sank it. I'm crawling on your shores. And I went to the doctor, I went to the mountains, I looked to the children, I drank from the fountains. There's more than one answer to these questions, pointing me in a crooked line. And the less I seek my source for some definitive, closer I am to find, yeah. Closer I am to find, yeah. And I went to see the doctor of philosophy with a poster of Rasputin and a beer down to his knee. He never did marry or see a big great movie. He graded my performance. He said he could see through me. I spent 4 years prostrate to the higher mind. Got my paper and I was free. And I went to the doctor, I went to the mountains, I looked to the children, I drank from the fountains. There's more than one answer to these questions, pointing me in a crooked line. And the less I seek my source for some definitive, closer I am to find, yeah. Closer I am to find, yeah. I stopped by the bar at 3 a.m. to seek solace in a bottle or possibly a friend. And I woke up with a headache like my head against a board, twice as cloudy as I'd been the night before. And I went in seeking clarity. And I went to the doctor, I went to the mountains, I looked to the children, I drank from the fountain. And we go to the doctor, we go to the mountains, we look to the children, we drink from the fountain. Yeah, we go to the Bible, we go through the workout, we read up on revival, we stand up for the lookout. There's more than one answer to these questions, pointing me in a crooked line. And the less I seek my source for some definitives, closer I am to find. Closer I am to find. Closer I am to find, yeah.
Please join me in this poem that is in your order of service. I'll begin, and I'll ask you to speak along with the italicized words. It is said that before entering the sea, a river trembles with fear. She looks back at the path she has traveled, from the peaks of the mountains, the long winding road crossing forests and villages. And in front of her, she sees an ocean so vast that to enter, there seems nothing more than to disappear forever. Nobody can go back. To go back is impossible in existence. The river needs to take the risk of entering the ocean, because only then will fear disappear, because that's where the river will know it's not about disappearing into the ocean, but of becoming the ocean.
Good afternoon. I'm Peter Gray. I'm Leslie's brother-in-law. And she asked me today to recite the mourner's Kaddish as we close the service. The Kaddish is, depending upon your sources, it may be a 1st century development, or it may have been developed as late as the 13th century. It's an Aramaic prayer. And the importance of the fact that it's an Aramaic and not Hebrew is because it was a prayer essential to the people. Hebrew was the language of the rabbis, of the learned. Aramaic was the language of the common person. So it was important that it be in Aramaic. The word Kaddish itself comes from the Hebrew word kadosh, which means holy. Traditionally, the prayer is said only when there is a minyan, which is generally a group of at least 10 Jewish people. In the Reform synagogue, it can be men and women, and the Orthodox would be men. But it's a quorum of 10, so a person can feel a part of the community. It's important to feel a part of the community, especially when mourning, because we do not mourn alone. We mourn as part of a community. One person, 2 people may particularly feel a loss, but anytime someone passes, that loss is felt by an entire community of people. It creates a sense of belonging. It also reflects an important aspect of Judaism, at least as I see it, an interconnectedness of lives, essential to note that we are not alone. I would ask those of you who are in mourning, if you are able, you may stand as I recite the Kaddish. Yit gadal v'yit shkadha shemei rabbah, v'almir divra kirute, v'yamich malkute b'chayon u'maychayon, v'hayed chol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'uzman kari v'ibru amen, Yehei shmei rabbah, mevarach le'olam omei amaya, yit barak v'yit tabak v'yit poar v'yit roman v'yit naseh, v'yit adar v'yit alev v'yit alal shmei de kudasha b'richu, le'ela min kol birachata v'shirata tushbeka v'hetamata da'amiran ba'alma v'ibru amen. Yehei shlama rabbah v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'ibru amen. Oseh shalom biramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'imru amen.
So as we prepare to leave this space, know that you will not be sitting down for long. Peter mentioned mourning. And as part of that, as we end this formal time together, you are, of course, invited to join us in the fellowship hall for a little bit of snacking and a little bit of conversation. And a little bit of that piece of mourning in community. That mourning in community, which is sharing those stories of precious times, of challenging times, of memories of Tom. That's a piece of this. And that's our time to do that together in community, perhaps in multiple communities. So you may share some stories with people from a different community than yours, because we've got at least 3 here. So I welcome you to that time. And also, as I gave you a spoiler alert at the beginning, we are going to welcome you to dance. Now, if you are intimidated by the thought of dancing, you do not, if you are brave, please stand up and dance where you are. If you are not so brave, you can stay sitting down, but start with a little bit of movement for the sake of bringing some of that energy into the room, of remembering the joy, those interactions that Tom brought to life, the positivity that I hear that he was so good in bringing forth. And of course, we will be departing with the family first, and after that, you can dance out after us, and we will love to see it.
all we